Hey guys, so today I have a September TBR, and it's been a while since I've done a TBR video, but I do have a set list of books that I want to read in the month of September and that I'm really excited about, so I just wanted to put it out there. Hopefully it's motivation for me to actually read these books. In total, I have 4 books on this list, and 3 of them are actually pretty big books, so I may not get to finishing all of them, but I at least hope to start these books. So without further ado, let's get into this. And I do want to mention that there is a theme for this month. They are all sequels, which is something I'm so bad at doing. I'm so bad at reading sequels. But this month, it just so happened that there's a lot of books in series that I'm wanting to read the next book of. So it is sequel September. I did this, was it December or January? And I think it failed. I think it didn't go as planned. But I'm trying again. I feel like I will be successful in the month of September. So I just want to share with you my first and foremost read for the month of September, and that is The True Bastards by Jonathan French. This book comes out in October, and I got an ARC of it. I am so excited to be reading this book again. I was hoping to reread the first book before I got to reading the sequel, but there is not enough time for me to do that, so I'm just gonna jump right into this. Nathan and I both read this book last year and loved it. It's a high fantasy story. Totally sucks you into the plot, and the characters especially. They were so well written. I had so much fun with this, and Nathan did too, and as soon as we finished it, we just wanted the next book right away. So I'm so glad it's finally here and I can read it. This will be the first thing that I read in the month of September, and then I'm going to let Nathan read it as well. So after that, I am dying to read the sequel to The Well of Ascension. So I'll be reading the 3rd book. I do not have the 3rd book with me, so that's why I'm holding up this one, which is The Hero of Ages in the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. So when I finish this book, there were no words. I needed the 3rd book. So yes, I will be getting the 3rd book very soon, and definitely be reading that in September, because the way it left off things, I wasn't expecting what happened to happen. I feel like the 2nd book had more of a draw for me to read the 3rd book than the 1st book did. The 1st book in the series I read last year, a whole year ago, and it took me a year to pick up The Well of Ascension. But with The Well of Ascension, I know I cannot wait long to read the 3rd book. So I'm so excited to be finishing this part of the trilogy. And then there is a 2nd part to the trilogy. There's a part 2, I guess you could say. So I'll be reading that too later as well, but I'm gonna focus on finally finishing the Mistborn series. It's so good. I'm so happy that I finally read this book and can read Hero of Ages, because what is gonna happen in that book, I have no idea. But I'm excited for it. Next, I want to read a classic. It's a book I've read before, and it's also a sequel, and it counts. So it's Harry Potter and Half-Blood Prince. This is one of my favorite Harry Potter books, so I'm so excited to be reading it, and especially as it's getting more fall time and reading Harry Potter. So ideally, I want to read Sorcerer's Stone in October. So I may also read Deathly Hallows in September, but I'm not banking on it, because so far all these 3 books are well over 500 pages. I know that is a lot to be reading, so I'm just gonna hopefully read this one. If I get to Deathly Hallows, great, and then in October I can have a cozy day reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, which they're fall books to me. So I'm really excited for that. I'm so excited to be reading this one because I just finished Order of the Phoenix last month. Was it just last month? I think it was last month. And then something completely different from that. As you can tell, I've kind of gotten back into fantasy, which is exciting for me. I've had a fantasy hiatus pretty much this whole year, so I'm feeling now back to wanting to read those types of books, which is really fun for me because I really do love fantasy. But something different from that is this cozy mystery series that I got sucked into with the Murder Squad. It is a series called the Kiley Barry Mystery Series. Okay, so it's this small town series. This shop owner, it's a cafe that she owns. She's a horrible cook. She's moved there after her horrible divorce, and she somehow finds herself in the middle of all these mysteries and these murders, and she's just a regular person, but she investigates them. So we read the 3rd book in the month of August, and so I want to read the 4th book. They haven't yet confirmed the Murder Squad if they're down for reading the 4th book in the series, but I really, I gotta read more. They're not continuations of each other, so the story is all wrapped up in the one book that I read, but I just really was digging the cheesiness and digging the coziness, and these books made me so hungry. They've actually influenced my cooking. Also, it's kind of weird because we're reading this series out of order. So the 3rd book was free, and so that's why we started with the 3rd book. So now I'm conflicted, should we go back and read the 1st book or just carry on with the series? I kind of feel like just carrying on with the series is fine. I don't know what they're gonna say, but I think we're gonna read at least one of the books in the series in the month of September. But anyways, the 4th book, which I wanna read, is called A Very Cunning Con Man. And just look at how cozy that is. I think those are just some wonderful looking pancakes on the cover. I am really excited to be reading mysteries again, even though these are mystery light. They're fun, and I think it'll be a really good balance with all the other heavier, darker stuff I have going on this month. This is just pure entertainment right here. So that is my reading plan for the month of September. I'm pumped. If you've read any of these books, let me know. I know they're in a series, so if you've read any of these series, let me know. And also, I was asking on Instagram too, but if you have any mystery recommendations, especially ones that are considered cozy mysteries, let me know, because it's a whole new world for me, and I just would love some more recommendations in that category. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and happy reading.